This is my system for the CO657 Internet of Things module's 5th assessment. I'm going to crack on because otherwise I will waffle. The completeness of the system is exactly what it was set out to be, which is a staff attendance tracker, i.e. staff would swipe in and out of their workplace, and then this system can be used to show when that staff member swiped. I understand this could be taken further. There could be a way of differentiating between a swipe in and a swipe out of the building. Also, you could sort of maybe link it up to a rota and then calculate if a staff member is late for work, or then link this up and maybe deduct their pay. So you could link it up to sort of like a payment thing where you track their swipes, which then affects if they're all there for work or not, and then distributes their pay. Maybe you could send an email to someone if they were late, an automated email if they were late. Coding, in general, I think all I did with the embed code was I just polished it up a bit. I had a variable that didn't make sense. It was called completeness, and I was advised that it was a bit illiterate. I should have had something maybe called it was called connection. I should have had something maybe called disconnection or something like that, because when I was saying when not connection, which actually means you're connected in my code, so I've changed it to the word disconnection, so hopefully that's a bit easier to understand. I use W3CSS, which is a plugin made by W3 Schools. I showed Fred my system. He was impressed with it. He said it's absolutely fine to use this plugin because essentially I understand it, and it's a outlet that's there for me to use. It helped me create a very sort of smooth and nice user interface. You basically just give HTML elements a class, and then the CSS is applied to it, which makes it look very nice and fancy. For data collection, in the first video for the previous assessment, I discussed how I get the date, the card ID, the time, etc. All the information. I discussed how I get that in the first video, and I made a JavaScript application which is subscribed to the same topic that my embed device sends all the relevant information to. Once this information comes through to the topic, the JavaScript application, which I showed in the first video, then through Ajax and PHP that I've wrote myself and SQL, takes the information from the MQTT topic and adds it to a database. Then this system queries that database to populate its various HTML elements with data. I'm going to quickly show you the system working, so I will get that going. If you want to see how this works, watch the first video. Now, I believe this is Fred's card. Oh, sorry, I didn't discuss. These are the various, I've made one like staff, and I've linked the cards to the staff or people, whatever you want to call them. I've made myself, Fred and Gerald, because they're all relevant to the module. I'm going to scan the card. Here we go, successful swipe. And then what you can do, I've already done a few swipes today, but you can search by date. There you go, nice little animation of the pie chart here, demonstrating accurate information about what is in the database. Here we go, there's the one that I just did, 507. Hopefully you can see there, that is the time, it's up to date, that's from a database. They're the various swipes. I can do that as well with my card, that is Oliver. I don't know if I got that on camera, I just swiped it. And I can show you there. I don't know if I got that as well. That was an animation. The pie chart animates, which I thought was very nice. It's slightly robust there. You can detect if you haven't put in information which you would require. If you click on each staff member, you can view their most recent swipe. So that would be 508, which is now 507, which was just then. I think the visualization from this system is one of the parts I'm most proud of. I think it's a really simple, user-friendly system. I've even employed like a lock button. I'll show you that at the end of the system though, because I'm filming this one-handed and I would then have to type in the password, which might prove a bit difficult when filming the video, so I'll finish the video locking the system hopefully. Visualization I feel is smooth, accurate. It was a bit of a learning curve figuring out how to populate information received from a query and then work this in with chart.js, which is what I use, the JavaScript plugin to make these charts. So if I search for a different one there, you can see how it nicely and smoothly updates to show information as well, sort of in an accurate representation, although a pie chart kind of just demonstrates the volume of which someone has logged in, so then you can there look at the information as well as just the volume. But here you can see Gerald is blue, and Gerald swiped in a lot on the date that I've searched for. And also when you hover over, you can see statistically how many times that is as well, which I found would be more useful, other than just guessing about how many times that might be and then having to go through there and count it. I think it's useful that it just gives you the numerical value of how many times they've swiped in as well. Okay, so looking at the processing, I've kind of intertwined, discussing a lot of the topics all as one when describing the system, but the processing I find is quite complex, and I'm pretty happy with it in the way. I'm not going to do a code walkthrough, by the way, because I think that will just waste time and consume time of the video, and it's getting quite near the 8-minute cap. But through a lot of the PHP and Ajax that I wrote, I think one of the best parts of the processing is that the pie chart accurately updates itself live, and it's animated as well between the days. So I think really I sort of already discussed that, but it just kind of, you know, nicely shows the representation of data there, which I thought was really good. And the way that I do that through PHP and Ajax within the application, you'll be able to see if you look at my code. The first nominated topic out of the extra topics that I want to be considered is other. It says that you could have like a rich user interface, and I really find that mine shows loads of relevant information that I haven't had a lot of time to talk to in this video. Like, it shows you the date, you're allowed to search for things, everything is in like ascending order from the most recent one down to the previous one. The pie chart is a nice size and the colours stand out, things like that, and there's a lot of information on the screen as well. I think the user interface is very rich and looks really good. Defensive coding is also done where it doesn't allow the user to enter in null data, so it doesn't let the user type in either. It has to be in the date format provided by the date picker, so you can't just enter erroneous stuff. And also the system can be locked.